Welcome to News9 Mediaverse, and you are watching On Point with me, and in this special edition we will talk about data thrown up by the exit polls. So let me take you through some of the talking points first as to how this data is giving us a big picture. Well, data can go wrong because it's ultimately a survey. Sunday can be disappointing for a lot of political parties, but this Sunday can also throw up surprises. This Sunday can reaffirm suspicions. This Sunday can be a happy Sunday for a lot of politicians. But this is like a mini battle, you know. This is, I wouldn't say it's like referendum, but I would definitely say it will tell us which way the wind is blowing when it comes to 2024 Lok Sabha elections. And the assembly elections in 5 states will somehow mark the beginning of a long grinding campaign for Delhi. So let's take a look at these big points. How some takeaways are very evident. The big picture: rise of Revanth Reddy, the man who had been in various parties, only supported by Rahul Gandhi, and someone who was not made welcome in the Congress because the older leaders felt that, you know, he's an outsider. So Revanth Reddy has done a good job because he brought back Congress as a fighting force. Now if we move away from Telangana, ZPM likely to displace Congress in MIZORAM. Now why? I'll tell you why this is important. This is important because ZPM was a number 3 party. Number 3. It not only displaces Congress, it has displaced MNF in exit polls. So you have a minor party becoming a major party. It takes away that space from the Congress in Northeast. Congress gives a good fight in Rajasthan. A lot of people are saying that Congress is winning. I am saying even if the Congress lose, and if we go by the bottom numbers which the polls have given, it tells you the defeat is going to be respectable. It's not going to be a washout like 2013. That's one. Then, Congress ineffective in Madhya Pradesh. The sort of run which people expected that the Congress was going to do, but I think Congress was not able to do. Maybe Kamal Nath and Digvijay were not on the same page. The campaign started late. I think something went wrong. Maybe it was Ladli Behna which did well. Maybe the Shivraj Singh Chauhan was not projected as the chief minister. But the way Congress fought election in 2018 in Madhya Pradesh is not the way they fought election this time. That's the difference. That's a big takeaway from the exit poll. Chhattisgarh remains the last northern Congress citadel in northern India. If I would say, if I include Chhattisgarh in the northern part of India, though it's a long tall state, you know, it goes right down. It touches Deccan, but then, you know, a part of it touches Sonbhadra. So Chhattisgarh is the citadel. They have been able to save that. Now this is the big question. Exit poll shows that welfare versus welfare politics. We could have said welfare versus welfare, welfare politics versus welfare politics. But I think the true welfare versus welfare politics, I think welfareism is here to stay. Now other 9 election insights. Veteran persists in all political parties. Over 70, they are here to stay. They have not been able to create space for younger generation because they have not moved out, and political parties have not done anything to move them out, fearing that they might harm the prospect. So 70 plus people are having a good time. That's one. Another graphic. Now Gehlot's influence in Rajasthan's Congress list, he got better than Sachin Pilot. That's the fact. So if there's a game changer in Rajasthan, we know who will control these MLAs. It's going to be him, no one else. Only 10% candidates are women. So I think it's all clip talk, you know, when we say that women reservation and all that. In reality, you don't give 10%, you know, not more than 10% tickets to the women candidates. And a lot of time political parties and other political analysts have said that if you make it 33%, all the losing seats will be given to women. That's going to be the reality of the sort of reservation if you impose. Then low representation for women in Congress and BJP. That's a fact. There's a gender gap. It has not been bridged. Though in some states, women are higher voters, but less representation. Criminal candidates, 19% in MP, 17% in Rajasthan and 11% in Chhattisgarh. So criminalization of politics or politicization of criminal world? It's here to say. I mean, so which way you want to start? 5 states contribute 83 Lok Sabha members collectively. So it's not a So it's not a small election. I think it's a mini general election. I'm not saying that Telangana represents entire South India or these three states reflects the complex politics of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. No, I'm not saying that. But it's a mini election. We have to give it. And 90% of the population is Hindu. It's not like Kerala, where the population is fragmented. It's not like Northeast. Then Mizoram is a different state. 92% population is Christian in Mizoram. Rest of them can be counted as animists. Some of them are Chakmas, refugees. But it's a Christian. But basically, you can say it's a state where Christianity makes a difference. And these results are going to be very crucial for people because they will not get a second chance. Kamal Nahar is not going to get a second chance. Digvijay Singh is not going to get a second chance. Ashok Gehlot will need to fight for a second chance if he wants to be LOP. Maybe Chandrasekhar Rao will retire. He will have to retire. He might not get a second chance. You know, his son is there. Lot of permutation, combination, and Zoran Thanga is also not in his prime. He was secretary to Lal Denga in 1987 when the accord was signed. It's 87, 97, 2007, 2017. I mean to say there's a history. So some people will be out. To like 2024 elections, some people will retire from politics. So even Shivraj, Vasundhara Raje, it entirely depends on them. And test of Zoram Thanga's leadership post Manipur violence. Why do I say that? Because Mr. Zoram Thanga invested in Kuki, Zomi, Chin politics. Our people, my people, them. He didn't talk about development. He spoke about the violence in Manipur. So, we have to see, despite taking a populist stand, why he has not been able to get the return, dividends. No dividends in exit poll. You might get the real dividends, but at least, you know, he will have 2 sleepless nights at least. The third one tomorrow. That's the 8th. And 9th, this will actually seal the fate of Congress and BJP satraps. Why do I say that? Congress satraps because the center is weak. BJP satrap because its legacy of Vajpayee's BJP, which Narendra Modi has inherited, like Vasundhara Raje Scindia, Raman Singh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan. They have not been able to, they couldn't move Yedurappa properly. When they did, they had to accommodate. The sons are back. So, and this is the barometer of mood ahead of 2024 polls. In studio, I am joined by Brijesh Pandey, Ashok Bagaria. I am joined by Deshdeep Saxena, author, senior journalist, Sunny Sebastian, senior journalist, Vanu Chandra Nagarajan, political analyst, and Ninglun Hangal, senior journalist, Northeast from Mizoram. I'll straight away go to Mizoram, you know. I'm feeling a little guilty, you know, last time the Mizoram came at the end. So I thought, you know, this time I'll start my show with Mizoram. Ninglun, why MNF has slipped, Congress has done miserably in exit poll, and why ZPM has come up like that? It's like another regional party becoming big, like Tipra Motha in Tripura. Ye kyun hua?
Yeah, I think the main reason would be the economy of Mizoram. The economy has really come down in the past recent years. So the youth, especially the youth, has been a little little unhappy with the ruling MNF, and the economy has become a shambles, and it is a very poor state like Mizoram. And what the general public in Mizoram says is that they wanted to give a new party a chance and see if they can bring some change, especially in the economy and employment, basically the youth issues. I think that is what the ZPM is riding very high on that.
Thanga played a very populist position. He took the side of the, you know, the cookie issue.
Yes.
It just didn't work. Why?
Yeah, he's a very popular chief minister, and he has enjoyed a very, what do we say, he is a good leader, of course, especially for Manipur his brothers and kins in Manipur, they have really looked up towards him. And he also had played a very good leadership role for the neighboring states and for the refugees from Myanmar, etc. Yeah, but the thing is that those in Mizoram, they wanted to see that because of all this refugee influx, the displaced population from Manipur, for example, the Mizoram is not a very developed or a very rich, economically rich state. So it has really suffered in the economy of the Mizoram. So maybe that could be one main reason.
But why ZPM? Why ZPM? I mean, say, why has it in exit polls? It's more than Congress party. It's more than MNF.
Yeah, the ZPM has emerged as an alternative because they successfully campaign in terms of economy, in terms of unemployment. So the youth, they think that maybe a new party, like for example, they have seen the Congress, they have seen the MNF, so maybe they wanted to see some new party coming up.
Okay, new party coming. Vijay, this is very surprising. You know, the reason why I started with this smallest state is because this is one area wherever a regional party comes up, Congress loses its space. It never loses space when it fights BJP. If there is a regional party, it eats into Congress. Now there are two regional parties, MNF and ZPM.
Well, I think Congress is very surely losing ground in the northeastern state, and it has been evident from 2014 onwards. It's not a new phenomena, I would say. And what should be worrying for Congress is that every election stamps the belief that they're further losing the ground rather than working hard to regain the ground. I think perhaps maybe the party leaders are busy campaigning in the big state, or they think that northeast is not that particular area where you go full blitzkrieg on. But if they don't change the course of the game and don't up the ante, I think in 2024 there will be no Congress in practically all of northeast, and that'll be a very, very sad situation for the Congress.
I know
party.
that's very problematic because Rahul Gandhi did a lot of good campaign in Mizoram. I think the position that was taken was right, but then for a party to come up like this is something which they should be concerned about. But let me go across straight away to Bhanu. Am I audible to you, Bhanu?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Bhanu, in Telangana, keeping everything aside, there is one person I want to talk about, Revanth Reddy. Revanth Reddy wouldn't have survived 2 days in Congress if Rahul wouldn't have been supporting him. So has he really created a space for himself? Has that man arrived in Telangana politics, boss?
I would not think so. I think still he's the first among equals. In fact, like there was in the middle of the campaign, there was a talk about who's going to be the chief minister of Telangana if Congress comes to power. And even Revanth himself was like projecting another name, Sitaka's name. So I think there are many contenders for chief minister, and Revanth is the first among equals. And I think he has done a fairly good job, but I don't think he is like the dominant face of the Congress in Telangana yet.
So who's the dominant face, Bhanu?
There is no dominant face. I think like there are many players. And I think like if the next CM, if at all Congress comes to power, he or she will be the most dominant face. I think the Congress's campaign is more about like running a disciplined campaign rather than like projecting any fix.
So the guy who says he doesn't want to be the chief minister, if he's very powerful, I think then he will be the chief minister. But then Congress this time, because that's a smart way of going around, jiska naam pehle declare hota hai, wo pehle cut jata hai, so he doesn't run the race. So I think Mr. Revanth Reddy is being very smart, cautious, both at the same time. But the issue is one, Congress gave a lot of tickets to Reddys. Bhanu, do you think that this time, if Congress has the chance to grab the power, it's going to be the Reddys once again?
Yeah, so if you look at the front runners, they're all Reddys. There is Jagga Reddy, there is Jana Reddy, who was the first LOP. Then there is Komati Reddy, Venkata Reddy, and there is the previous Congress state president, Uttam Kumar Reddy. So there are many Reddys in the fray. Then there is Vikramarka, who is the current LOP. So I think among the 5-6 players, the majority are Reddys.
Brijesh, do you think that Revanth Reddy stands a chance?
Well, I think he does, because he stands a chance, but we can't say for sure that he's the one who's going to be the chief minister, because a lot depends on the margin of the victory. You know, if the margin of the victory is so clear and so decisive that it's the center who can afford to, you know, decide whichever candidates they do. But if the margin of the victory is less, I mean, if they are able to barely scrape through, then I think a lot of permutation and combination will come up, and that will be the ultimate deciding factor as to who becomes the chief minister of Telangana.
Is there any other factor? Is there a Muslim factor? Is there a factor, boss?
No, I think, you know, when we say that either there's a numero uno, like you ran a campaign in Chhattisgarh where Bhupesh Baghel is there, or in Madhya Pradesh where you know for sure that, you know, it's Kamal Nath. If Congress comes to power, it is going to be Kamal Nath. This was not the scenario in the state of Telangana. And yes, Revanth Reddy did a very good job. I completely agree with Bhanu, and he emerged as you know, one of the top leaders. But the reality is that, you know, we'll have to wait and watch as to, you know, what is the number which the Congress party polls before they can actually go ahead and decide for who's going to be the chief minister.
Okay, now Bhanu wants to come in. I was very afraid at the start of the discussion. I think he was disinterested. He was giving me short answers. So I thought, okay, chalo, theek hai, Bhanu is not interested. I'm glad he has shown interest.
But I think, you know, I would want to ask Bhanu one.
But you know, na, jo kam bolta hai, Brajesh, iska matlab, boss, I think thak gaye kal ke.
No, but he must be having a very busy day yesterday. Because, you know, given one of the shock factor came from Telangana.
Brajesh, more than shock factor, I had the knee factor.
Because
I was the one who was standing.
I'm not concerned about your knee. I'm more concerned about the shock factor.
You had the shock factor. I had the knee factor.
Bhanu, I just wanted to understand one thing, which I really, I mean, you know, the Congress was 6 months back or 7 months back. You know, Congress was not the dominant party. You know, even today, you know, like you said, you used the word if they come to power. And a majority of people, you know, political analysts still are taking the Axis India and Chanakya's figures with a sack full of salt. How did Congress change the game? I mean, what happened in the last 6 months which made Congress at least to come to a level where they seem to be forming the government?
Yeah, absolutely, Brajesh. Like in the beginning of the year, they were in the number 3 position. There was this strong incumbent and there was a usurper in the BJP. But I think over the last 3 months, post Karnataka and post the organizational bungling in the BJP, the Congress has taken advantage of the surging anti-incumbency. I think the waves turned quite dramatically, I think, around May and June. So I think like, you know, also credit goes to their poll managers because they have run a very disciplined campaign. That was the most noteworthy part about the Congress campaign. See, if you look at the campaign, what they have done is they have these 6 guarantees, and they use only that. And the leaders otherwise spoke about, like, you know, Samman, about being like a mother, and they were taking selfies and, you know, doing stuff with autos and all that. So I think instead of like going astray, which the Congress party leaders usually do, they have done a very disciplined campaign. I think they've learned something from the Karnataka election. So I think that is where I think the Congress thought it is multiple things, and also obviously there was a massive anti-incumbency against the BRS. In fact, if you look at both the constituencies that KCR was contesting, in Gajwel, like, you know, he was facing the BJP's Etala, who was the campaign committee chief, and in other place, Kamareddy, like, he was facing Revanth. So I think both the parties felt that they had a chance to trounce KCR and there was massive anti-incumbency against him because of like various corruption schemes.
Okay, you know, before I toss on to Bites, Ashok, do you think that Telangana can give a national message? A lot of states do that. For example, you recall in 2013, 4 states elections happened. It was sort of a sweet but a slightly bitter moment because, you know, Delhi BJP couldn't come to power, but 3 states Bharatiya Janata Party swept. You know, it was like a signal. So do you think Telangana has the capacity to send a signal?
Oh, well, I'll first start my comment with the rider that I'm not too optimistic as far as the exit polls are concerned. Because if you look at the exit polls, if you
You're
take...
pessimist?
I'm not optimist.
I meant by deductive logic.
I know. I'm not too optimistic about the outcomes they are predicting.
Okay.
Because if you take the look at 10 projections which have been made by 10 different companies, there is no consensus amongst them. Let's take the instance of Madhya Pradesh, Telangana or Rajasthan. there is a great disparity in the outcomes which are predicted by the exit pollsters.
But the joke in the market was, let's not rub the political parties the wrong way.
Well, whatever it is. But now coming to your question right away, is that whether
That's true. I said the right thing.
Yeah, you said the right thing. I'm not saying that. Yeah.
Because it's costly, huh?
Yeah. So
it's costly to say the right thing, huh?
So as far as Telangana is concerned, you see, I don't think that it would have any impact on the 2024 general elections, because what we have seen in the recent past is that there is a difference in the manner in which the voters vote at the assembly levels and when they choose a leader for the country. There have been historical incidents to prove. Let's take the instance of 2018 itself. In Rajasthan, Congress secured good numbers, but during the Lok Sabha elections, which were held just 6 months down the line, all the 25 seats were taken by the BJP. Similarly in Madhya Pradesh, same in Chhattisgarh. So as far as Telangana is concerned, there's only one lesson or takeaway that we can draw from the results which we get on Sunday, is which way the Muslims have voted, because Muslims have traditionally backed the BRS.
Okay.
But if this time around the Muslim voters have deserted BRS and rallied with the Congress, it hints at a fact that the Muslim vote, as far as the southern part of the country is concerned, is moving a little closer to the Congress.
Before I toss on to Paish, Bhanu, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, just referring to what the wise and pessimistic gentleman just spoke. See, the thing is, like, we might actually contest on the number of seats projected by various polling agencies, but it's very decisively pointing to an increased vote share. I think, we can take those numbers with a lesser pinch of salt than the other. So I think the Congress actually polled around 28% in the previous assembly election. Now they are saying that it's around like 42%, which is like a 50% hike. So I think there's a definite move towards the Congress. Yeah, maybe if you look at the numbers also, they're around the halfway mark. So maybe the gentleman has a point. But I think the needle has decisively moved towards the Congress is something we have to acknowledge.
Okay.
And just going to Brigesh's previous point on who the chief minister is going to be, if history has anything, if he has any lessons, the Congress plays a very different game post elections. We saw that in Chhattisgarh in 2018 when Tamarraj Bahu and Dio were the front runners and Baghel came from nowhere, and 2003 in Rajasthan where Gehlot was not in the picture and Mr. Mardena was the main candidate. So I think it's a different game when the polls are over.
Okay. Let me toss to a couple of bites from Telangana, and then we need to talk about 2 more states, in fact 3 more states, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan.
We are hoping for the best good result, for the change and for the stronger India. No, always I'm a positive man always. I don't look at things negatively. I take everything in a positive way. I don't think so. Kamalnath, under the leadership of Kamalnath, everything has gone well and it will continue to be.
देखिए तेलंगाना में तो हमारी सरकार बनेगी, राजस्थान में भी हमारी पूरी उम्मीद है। जो कुछ रिपोर्ट जो मध्य प्रदेश के बारे में हमको तो जो रिपोर्ट मिल रहा था कि मध्य प्रदेश में स्थिति अच्छी है, छत्तीसगढ़ में तो जीत पक्की है। तो 3 तारीख के सबको जो है सब लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं 3 तारीख के लिए। अब 3 तारीख को फाइनल हो जाएगा। देखिए राहुल गांधी जी ने कहा था कि सरकार के पहले कैबिनेट मीटिंग में हम लोग सबको जितने भी गारंटीज है उसको जो है उसको पारित कर लेंगे। और जब राहुल जी ने बोल दिया, खड़गे जी ने बोल दिया, सोनिया जी ने बोल दिया, जब प्रियंका जी ने बोल दिया, तो ये तो कंपलसरी है, पास होगी।
तेलंगाना प्रदेश में इलेक्शन प्रोसेस कंप्लीट हुआ, तो कल परसों रिजल्ट आने वाला है। वी आर मोर एक्साइटिंग ऑन द रिजल्ट्स, अपकमिंग रिजल्ट्स। मोस्टली वी आर गोइंग टू विन 80 to 90 seats, as if we have, that information. थर्ड के बाद ये जो एमएलए जीते सब लोग बैठकर सीएलपी लीडर को बनाते 9th को वी आर प्लानिंग टू स्वेरिंग सेरेमनी. तो मोस्टली मेजर एमएलएस इज विथ रेवंत अन्ना. So we are praying Revanth becomes Chief Minister of the Telangana.
Okay, now let's talk about Rajasthan. Rajasthan, either Bharatiya Janata Party is sweeping or Congress Party is making the government. But the bottom line here is that even if the Congress is going to lose the election, it's not going to be a huge loss. Mr. Sebastian, one thing is very clear. ये आर पार टाइप लड़ाई नहीं लग रही है. मतलब there has been Congress has given a good fight in Rajasthan. I was expecting if Congress is going to lose, it will be around 35 seats or 30 seats. But not a single survey is giving them less than 60.
No, they are much closer to the, the 100 mark. Maybe, which one is the first, depends on who is getting more numbers, BJP or the Congress. And nobody seems to have believed the exit polls, especially the Congress. Yesterday, Ashok Gehlot, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot went and met the governor, Kalraj Mishra. I don't know what was the discussion about, that was not disclosed. Also, he has...
Sir, Chief Ministers can meet governors. I mean, so they are supposed to meet governors, be civil. I mean, sab jagah agar the sort of...
That is unusual. Now, when they before forming the government, they meet the governors.
No, quote unquote, no pun intended. You can't have a Chennai model for governors in rest of India ki acrimony itni ho jaye, the matter goes to the court.
Well, that's not only limited to the Kerala, Punjab, everywhere. But.
Okay.
Very friendly.
Couple of other models to add by Brijesh.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Sebastian.
Their relationship is very good, very cordial. So it was a courtesy call, perhaps, but still. Gehlot vehemently denies the correctness of the exit polls and claims that he would form the next government. Also, same as with BJP. BJP also says, BJP president has said that BJP would get around 135 seats. So it's now, and also nobody has taken into account this probable winners from independents and smaller parties. I feel there would be no more than a dozen, maybe 15 or even 20. So both the parties won't be getting beyond 90 seats. So crossing 100 mark is a difficult thing, it seems.
You're saying closing 100 mark is a difficult thing. Mr. Saxena, even in Madhya Pradesh, the sort of comeback which Bharatiya Janata Party has made and which the exit poll has shown is also very remarkable, because a month ago no one was giving any numbers to Bharatiya Janata Party. They would say it's a lost state, They had given away to the Congress.
That's true. And which is why people even within BJP, they are not able to digest the exit poll results. Two of them are giving, they are saying that BJP is going to sweep in Madhya Pradesh. And if that was the case, why no one was able to read if there was any wave in favor of BJP? That's a different thing.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yes. And having said that, BJP has definitely, improved in last 1 month or so. And I would say that it is because of 3-4 factors. One, obviously, Ladli Behna Yojana, which Shivraj Singh thought would be a game changer. And it appears if the exit polls are accurate, then we can say that he has succeeded in doing this. Then in last 15 or 20 days, Prime Minister Modi addressed 15 meetings, as many as 15 meetings. In fact, Shivraj Singh Chauhan was completely sidelined last 1 month, and Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah took over the campaign in Madhya Pradesh. Then we have Hindutva also, especially the issue of completion of the construction of Ram Temple. the BJP tried to make it a sentimental issue in rural Madhya Pradesh, and a word was spread that they would ensure that people would be taken to Ayodhya to have darshan there. Interestingly, in the neighboring Chhattisgarh, they have also started a Yojana, Ram Lala Darshan Yojana also, where they are planning to, take villagers to the Ram temple. So these are few issues which I think,
can I put it like this, कि जिस तरीके से भक्ति की टक्कर हुई मध्य प्रदेश में, उसी प्रकार से वेलफेयर की टक्कर हुई राजस्थान में.
भक्ति की टक्कर, I doubt भक्ति की टक्कर, because two things. One, I talked about specifically about the Ram temple, completion of the construction of Ram temple, and then another thing is Hindutva, which people thought Kamal Nath's approach about soft Hindutva, he would touch and go, he would touch and return back to his core issues like employment, like Mengai, and various others. Corruption was one of them. So he was touching the issue of Hindutva. At the same time, he was refusing to play on the pitch of BJP also. So this is what his plan was. But yes, completion of the construction of temple, BJP introduced the issue. Many hoardings were put up across Madhya Pradesh, with a message that if BJP comes to power, we'll have first cabinet meeting.
But Mr. Saxena, Hindutva has been a common scheme. Amit Shah spoke about giving, doing away with reservation for Muslims in Telangana. The same issue had come up in Karnataka. So hard Hindutva is the fallback plank of Bharatiya Janata Party. But Ashok, coming to you, ये welfare versus welfare हुआ क्या राजस्थान में?
See, yeah, it was definitely a welfare versus welfare politics which was
Revdi versus Labharti, or Labharti versus Labharti, or Revdi versus Revdi, or Revdi 2.0 version versus Revdi 1.0 version.
No, it was Labharti versus Labharti.
Achha,
and
Labharti versus Labharti.
In fact, both the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party pushed their welfare agendas, while Congress pushed their Graha Lakshmi scheme and the whole idea of offering LPG cylinders at ₹500, which was basically targeting the women voters as well as the rural voters. On the other hand, the Bharatiya Janata Party has also promised giving scooters to girl students. They have also announced, they have also raked up the issue of women's safety. They have also focused on many welfare schemes that would be given to.
Can you say a scheme of Ashok Gehlot?
I think for me, which probably Ashok Gehlot did not step too hard on, was his free medicine scheme. At this point in time, one scheme which probably is very popular and amongst the people of Rajasthan is the free medicine scheme.
It's such a, I have to add this, and I have to mention that name. This was something that was pioneered or fine-tuned, if that may be the correct word, by Y. Rajshekhar Reddy. A lot of people think it was Padayatra and other things. I had seen it myself. The rural ambulances and the network of medical amenity being provided in rural area was first done by him. Whichever part in the rural area, the medical ambulance would reach. So I understand the power of amenity, which is medical, reaching rural areas where big hospitals, AIIMS, and because of lack of money, things are out of your grasp. So I can very much understand that Mr. Gehlot also understood the import of the scheme and the impact. Before I come back to you, let me play out a couple of bites we have got on Rajasthan.
बीजेपी के वरिष्ठ नेता और केंद्रीय मंत्री गजेंद्र सिंह शेखावत हमारे साथ हैं। सर, एग्जिट पोल आपने भी देखा, तो क्या जो एग्जिट पोल्स के जो नतीजे दिखाए जा रहा है, आपको लगता है सच होगा?
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ सरकार में आ रही है, ये मैं पहले भी कह रहा था, आज से 6 महीने पहले भी कह रहा था और आज भी कह रहा हूँ। और आप सभी लोग जो थोड़ा बहुत दाएं हो रहे हैं, थोड़ा बहुत बाएं हो रहे हैं, 2 दिन रुक जाइए, आप सब लोग संवेद स्वर में इसी बात को एंडोर्स करते हुए वापस दिखाई देंगे।
लेकिन अशोक गहलोत कह रहे हैं कि अगर बीजेपी का ने जो धर्म कार्ड खेला अगर वो नहीं चला तो फिर अशोक गहलोत नहीं कांग्रेस सरकार बनने जा रही है।
ये पिछले 5 साल तक अपने वोटों को कंसोलिडेट करने के लिए तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करने का पाप अशोक गहलोत साहब ने किया। पाकिस्तान से जो लोग हिंदू विस्थापित होकर के आते हैं, अपनी बहू बेटियों की इज्जत को बचाने के लिए वहां से अपना सब कुछ गंवा करके आते हैं, ऐसे गरीब लोगों की नैसर्गिक मातृभूमि भारत में उनको सुविधा प्रदान करने के लिए भारत सरकार यदि कानून बनाती है और गहलोत साहब उस सीए के एक्ट का विरोध करने के लिए एक मजहब विशेष के हजारों लोगों को लेकर के और पुलिस के संरक्षण में मार्च करते हैं, तब वो कौन सा कार्ड होता है? हिंदू त्योहारों पर प्रतिबंध लगाया जाता है, तब वो कौन सा कार्ड होता है? मंदिर गिराए जाते हैं, तब वो कौन सा कार्ड होता है? एक ही दिन में 2 घटनाएं, गरीब जो है दलित परिवार के 2 बच्चों को गैंगवार के आशंका में कुचल करके चिथड़े चिथड़े कर दिया जाता है। उनके परिवार के सदस्य 10 दिन तक सड़क पर बैठे रह करके सामान्य मुआवजे की मांग करते हैं, सरकार के कान तक वो बात नहीं पहुंचती। और एक रोड रेज की घटना में मारे जाने वाले व्यक्ति को 50 लाख रुपए 1 घंटे में दे करके गहलोत साहब ट्वीट करते हैं, तब वो कौन सा कार्ड होता है? अपने गिरेबान में झांक करके देखें कि धर्म की राजनीति कौन कर रहा है।
लेकिन उन्हें तो जादूगर कहा जाता है।
वो इसीलिए जादूगर कि उनको अपना किया हुआ शायद दिखता नहीं है, दूसरों का दिखाने की कोशिश करते हैं।
एक आखिरी सवाल, आपने कहा कि प्रचंड बहुमत से बीजेपी की सरकार बनने जा रही है, तो मुख्यमंत्री कौन बनेगा?
चलिए, ये सवाल तो 2-3 दिन के लिए विधायकों और पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड पर छोड़ दीजिए।
परसों है 3 तारीख और ये बात तय है कि एग्जिट पोल आने के बाद कांग्रेस का जो मायूसी थी वो खत्म हो गई, क्योंकि एग्जिट पोल तो खरा है। हमारा कार्यकर्ता क्या, बीजेपी वाले की तरह से झूठ और भ्रम और धोखे की राजनीति नहीं आती। वो तो ऐसा उत्तेजित हो जाता है कि जैसे नारे लगने लगे, उनको लगा कि और हमारा इतना माहौल था, अचानक वोटिंग वाले दिन इतना माहौल क्यों नहीं। वोटर जब अंदर जाता है तो अपने हिसाब से वोट करता है, वो बाहर के माहौल से वोट नहीं करता। वो तो माहौल 5 साल का देखता है, बीजेपी कांग्रेस का काम देखता है, फिर वोट करता है। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि जो कल एग्जिट पोल आया उसमें कांग्रेस को बढ़त दिखाई गई है, कई चैनल से, कईयों ने बीजेपी को दिखाई है। देखिए, जो एग्जिट पोल का दावा है वही मेरा दावा है। एग्जिट पोल बाकायदा एजेंसियां करती है। अब आप बताओ, मैंने तो कोई एजेंसियों से सर्वे कराया नहीं, सर्वे उन्होंने कराया। वो ये कह रहे हैं कि साहब कांग्रेस 100+ कर रही है, मैं नहीं कह रहा एग्जिट पोल। तो 100+ कर रही है तो कई एग्जिट पोल कह रहे हैं, एक अकेला तो कह नहीं रहा। और बीजेपी को सारे एग्जिट पोल जिता नहीं रहे। और मध्य प्रदेश में जहां हम बीजेपी की जीत मान रहे थे, वहां बीजेपी माइनस में, बीजेपी की हार मान रहे थे हम मध्य प्रदेश में, वहां तो बीजेपी माइनस में जीत में आ गई और कांग्रेस हार रही है एग्जिट पोल में। हम तो कांग्रेस की जीत पहले मध्य प्रदेश में, मैं राजस्थान से मजबूत मान रहा था कांग्रेस को, लेकिन यहाँ उल्टा हुआ, अब कांग्रेस जीत रही है राजस्थान में, मध्य प्रदेश में एग्जिट पोल में कांग्रेस पीछे है।
वोटिंग परसेंटेज ज्यादा हुआ राजस्थान के अंदर। वोटिंग परसेंटेज तब ज्यादा होता है जब वोटर में, मतदाता में एक उत्साह होता है। उत्साह कब होता है? जब एक परिवर्तन होता है कि मुझे परिवर्तन लेकर आना है, एक नयापन मुझे लेकर आना है। अभी कांग्रेस के कुशासन के बाद नयापन क्या है? भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार। दूसरा, सब लोगों से जो मैंने बातचीत करी तो यही निकल कर आया कि साहब इस बार वोटर बहुत साइलेंट था, यानी अपने पड़ोसी को भी नहीं बता रहा था कि वोट कहां दिया है। ऐसे में एग्जिट पोल वालों को कितना बताया होगा और कितना नहीं बताया होगा, मुझे लगता है आप और हम इसका आकलन कर सकते हैं। तीसरी बात, एग्जिट पोल वाले कितने लोगों को लगाएंगे? भारतीय जनता पार्टी के तो एक एक बूथ में एजेंट बैठे हुए थे जो नजरों से टिक कर रहे थे, किसकी नजर मिल रही है, कौन हमारा वोटर है वहां पर। तो वो जो आकलन है हुआ वो बहुत डिटेल्ड है, उतना कोई कर नहीं सकता था। और उसी का पूरा फीडबैक, इन तीनों चीजों का जो फीडबैक है वो ये है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार एक प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ राजस्थान में बन रही है।
अशोक, खरी खरी और जली में ज्यादा फर्क नहीं होता, मतलब खरी 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 होते हुए जल जाती है रोटी। तो ये कहे जो खरी खरी है वो जलने के अड़ोस पड़ोस तो नहीं है।
See, to answer that question, I'll tell you there are 3 factors according to me which will determine who wins Rajasthan. Okay. The first factor is which way the women have voted in Rajasthan. The second factor, which way rural Rajasthan.
You know, women, they are a common factor even in Madhya Pradesh, you know. Saxena ji was talking about Ladli Behna.
You have to understand.
कहने का मतलब है कि हम लोग को सर्वे केवल महिलाओं को करा लेना चाहिए.
बिल्कुल कराना चाहिए. बिल्कुल कराना चाहिए. क्यों नहीं कराना चाहिए?
क्योंकि हर कोई अगर एक्सपर्ट है बोलेगा, I have to tell you about the women factor.
Yeah, the
तो
women,
सर्वे भी उनका
the women factor, the women are emerging as a force in politics because they did not till almost a decade back. The number of women who went out and voted was really less. But now suddenly we see that they are being very vocal about their choices.
Bhanu, in Telangana, if I am not wrong, there you have more women voters than men this time around. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
But what an irony, women voters ज़्यादा हैं, representation कम है.
That too will start. That too will start. You know, it's not going to be a one-day phenomena. But the way women voter percentages started, I mean, Nitish Kumar is a shining example where his own caste, in a massively caste determined, voting system, he has like 2% or 3% caste of voting for his own caste. And there's a 50% women who vote for him.
I'll come back to Rajasthan. I'll forget this question. I wanted to ask this question yesterday also. Mr. Saxena, you know, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, ठीक है, there are two different states. But it's not as if, you know, they're extremely diverse when it comes to a culture. You know, you have tribes, you have different topography, but it's not as if, you know, there's a huge language difference. You have a dialect difference. Why is Chhattisgarh behaving differently? It has revived Congress party, but Madhya Pradesh has not done that. What's the difference?
Interesting.
No, कुछ तो
for
होगी
last
बात.
5 years.
कुछ तो होगी बात.
Sorry.
कुछ तो बात
होगी. Definitely. Bilkul. And I think it is Congress has been out of power, you know, in Madhya Pradesh for almost 20 years now, except the 1.5 year of Mr. Kamal Nath's rule. But Bhupesh Baghel has been in power continuously for 5 years. So first, that makes the difference.
चलिए,
the organization in Chhattisgarh,
अगर कमलनाथ की
the organization in Chhattisgarh is
अगर
better
कमलनाथ की सरकार गई नहीं होती और मैं आपसे सवाल आज पूछ रहा होता है बात, तो I would have said it कि भाई दोनों सरकारें हैं. But then constitutionally Congress is now stronger in Chhattisgarh, but it's not strong in Madhya Pradesh. Why? Why has that happened?
That's what I was telling you. Congress has been out of power for long.
In the Naxal attack, Congress was leaderless. लोग भूल जाते हैं.
But it revived in last 5 years. It has revived. You know, and you need resources. You need money. You know, to revive a party, which is not the case in Madhya Pradesh. If you are in power, you have strength of organization. Organization automatically revives. People join and they work. Unlike in Madhya Pradesh, where Congress has been continuously out of power for last 20 years, except again, as I was telling you, except
Congress
last
was also out of power in Chhattisgarh for 15 years.
That's true, but they have been in power for last 5 years. Continuously, they are in power for last 5 years, and then that's basically the difference. Second thing is it's a comparatively a smaller state, only 90 seats. You know, it's easy to govern the state as an organization. Madhya Pradesh is a vast state, 230 seats. You know, so these geographically it is much more bigger than Chhattisgarh. It is a difficult state. Second thing also, Madhya Pradesh has been the laboratory of BJP for last many years. You know.
Correct.
And it is
original state more than Gujarat.
BJP is very strong in Madhya Pradesh. Its organization is very strong in Madhya Pradesh. So Kamal Nath was having a fight with Kamal, in fact, with alone Kamal Nath, Digvijay Singh, the duo fighting with the might of BJP in Madhya Pradesh. That was not the case in Chhattisgarh. Bhupesh Baghel, with all the resources of government, like Shivraj Singh Chauhan was using in Madhya Pradesh, the government resources, the postings of key postings in districts when the state goes to poll. It was happening in Chhattisgarh, but it was not happening in Madhya Pradesh for Congress. So these are some of the points which went in favor of Congress in Chhattisgarh, but not in Madhya Pradesh.
went in favor of Congress in Chhattisgarh but not in Madhya Pradesh. Is it also because कि इस बार कमलनाथ और दिग्विजय ने मिलकर चुनाव नहीं लड़ा, ब्रिजेश?
I don't think so. I think that this time they fought the election very well, and it would be very convenient on my part to overlook the fact that 1 month back they were almost sure shot to come into power. Though there were videos and all doing the rounds of there was fighting and all, but I think they did put up a very good fight. It looks like if we go by exit access and today's Chanakya poll, it looks like that the BJP's effort of putting in all the cabinet ministries, reading riot act ministers in the state, reading riot act to people or leaders who were seen as in perpetuating factionalism. I think all of those. If I go by the number of seats, all the gamble which the BJP top leadership took, it seems that it has paid off. I won't say that that the Congress ran a very not a good campaign. I mean, if you are 15 days or 1 month before you're all set to come to power, this means that you have done your campaigning right. It's just that the other party got better of you.
Okay. अच्छा, before I go, Mr. Sebastian, किसकी सरकार बनेगी? ये मत बोलिएगा पता नहीं है, क्लोज है, ऐसा वैसा नहीं.
Too close. No, I won't say. I won't take it.
नहीं, ये सब नहीं. कांग्रेस या बीजेपी? Putting your money. हाँ, किसकी बनेगी? बीजेपी, कांग्रेस?
I can't say that.
अरे, आप हमारे स्टूडियो में इसलिए बताने के लिए, अगर आप मना कर देंगे दर्शक जूते बताइए, इतनी देर से बात कर रहे हैं, इनको पता ही नहीं किसकी सरकार बन रही है. Come on, hedge your bet.
That is too risky. That is too risky. I don't think anybody is getting
like a good majority.
अच्छा, who has the edge? Who has the edge?
Pardon?
Who has the edge?
Who
has the edge?
See, going by the polls, the impression is that BJP has an edge.
No. It's not a dialogue. Who has the edge?
See, edge also, like I said, no, both are very close. This is a very close fight, and it all depends on how many independents and smaller party candidates win the election. It will depend on that.
No, Mr. And my question is very simple. If you say you don't want to answer it, you can. But if it is like that, audience is very intelligent. Either you can say, I can't answer, I don't know, Congress or BJP. Or
see, if the number is with Congress, and
okay. So Congress,
it
took me 8 questions to take that word out of you. Congress, okay. Bhanu, tell me, who has the edge?
Oh, definitely Congress has the edge.
Congress.
No question about it.
Mr. Saxena, who has the edge?
I think I still will go with Congress. Congress still has an edge.
Oh, Congress has the edge. So, in end, Madam Ninglun, so
yes,
is the exit poll correct? Who has the edge?
It will be a regional party, definitely not Congress or BJP in Mizoram.
There's no BJP. But what about MNF? You forgot MNF?
Yeah, MNF has 27.
No, you have to give me a name. No. You can't pay that one on me. You have to give me a name, madam.
See, it possibly might be an alliance government.
Okay. No, madam.
In Mizoram.
Who will lead the government? ZPM or MNF?
I'm not sure about ZPM. MNF might be coming back.
Okay, so she says MNF is coming back. Brijesh, your bet on Chhattisgarh.
I think Congress has a clear edge in Chhattisgarh. Madhya Pradesh, I think I will say that Congress has.
Okay,
I would prefer. I will say Congress.
Rajasthan, I'll go with BJP.
You'll go with BJP.
Yeah.
So, I mean to say that which means that it's going to be a mixed bag. But anyway, Sunday can throw up a lot of surprises. I would be interested to see, if you ask me, if it is in Chhattisgarh, I want to know who is going to win South Chhattisgarh. If you ask me what happens in Madhya Pradesh, I want to know how Mahakaushal would be voting. That would be my interest area. If you ask me about
well, Congress, you are answering like Sunny Sebastian,
Telangana.
Then you are not giving an answer of the whole. But I want South
That's the privilege of being anchor. If you ask me about Telangana, I would be interested. who wins in Hyderabad region or the outer Hyderabad region. If you ask me Rajasthan, I would really like to know who is going to win that Bundi, Jhalawar tribal belt. That would be my interest. And really, in Mizoram, I'm not an expert, but if the outer areas are won by a party which is a rank outsider to the mainstream, I'll be stunned and surprised at the board. So this was all in on point. I'll leave you with a couple of bites related to elections. Yesterday must be a day full of anxiety for the politicians. Must be a disturbed night yesterday. They'll have to undergo a disturbed night today and maybe even tomorrow. But it's good fun for journalists. Stay tuned because we are on polls, data and survey.
मार्गदर्शन, हमारे सभी कार्यकर्ताओं का अनथक परिश्रम और जनता का प्यार और आशीर्वाद, केंद्र की योजनाएं भी, चाहे वो पीएम गरीब कल्याण योजना हो या पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि हो, पीएम आवास योजना हो या फिर मध्य प्रदेश की सरकार की योजनाएं, चाहे वो लाडली बहना हो जिसने बहनों की जिंदगी बदल दी, लाडली लक्ष्मी से लेकर लाडली बहना तक का महिला सशक्तिकरण का एक लंबा सफर है जिसने बहनों के हृदय में एक अलग स्थान भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए बनाया। और चाहे हमने पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि में सीएम किसान सम्मान निधि या कल्याण योजना की राशि जोड़ी हो, मुख्यमंत्री सीखो कमाओ योजना हो या अन्य बहुत सी योजनाएं, ये उन्हीं को ढंग से नीचे पहुंचाने का परिणाम है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी फिर शानदार बहुमत प्राप्त करने जा रही है।
3 तारीख को अंतिम निर्णय होंगे, लेकिन तब तक राहत है कि कम से कम गवर्नमेंट में तो आ रहे हैं। अभी भी मुझे लगता है कि 60 के आसपास होना चाहिए, प्लस माइनस 60 होना चाहिए, और वो होगा तो संतोष होगा। उससे कम होगा तो जरूर निराशा होगी, लेकिन काम करने का मौका अगर मतदाता देते हैं तो ये हम सब के लिए बड़े सौभाग्य की बात होगी। ये फर्स्ट पास द पोस्ट वाला हमारा सिस्टम है, तो एक्चुअल वोट शेयर सीट शेयर में रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं करता। और अगर आप देखेंगे तो कि छत्तीसगढ़ में दोनों पार्टियां मोटा मोटी 2 पार्टी सिस्टम ही वहां है, बाकी लड़ते हैं, उनको भी एक वोट शेयर मिलता है, करीब 20% के आसपास नोटा और बाकी पार्टियों में जाता है। तो ये 80% में वोट शेयर हो जाता है। और कभी भी इन पार्टियों का 32% से नीचे किसी भी चुनाव में, न लोकसभा न विधानसभा में वोट शेयर गया। उसको आप सीट में ट्रांसलेट करेंगे तो 30 सीट करीब ऐसे ही होता है। तो किसी भी पार्टी की वोट शेयर की स्थिति 30 सीट से कम नहीं होती। अप्रत्याशित पिछले बार भाजपा के 15 ही सीट आई, वो वोट फर्स्ट पास द पोस्ट वाली बात में, तो वो एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था। तो उतनी उपस्थिति तो दोनों पार्टी की है। अब ये 10% वोट शेयर के फ्लक्चुएशन में वहां सीट्स आती हैं।
नतीजे का विश्लेषण करने के बाद छत्तीसगढ़ के संदर्भ में एक बात स्पष्ट है कि कांग्रेस और कांग्रेस की वर्तमान स्थिति में जो गिरावट आई है, 69 सीट से गिरते गिरते 3-4 एग्जिट पोल ने उनको 40 और 42 तक मिनिमम दिखाया है। इसका मतलब ये है कि जो कांग्रेस और कांग्रेस के वोटों के प्रतिशत में जबरदस्त गिरावट आई है और वो आखिरी 40 और 42 तक जाकर रुक रहा है। दूसरी तरफ तुलनात्मक यदि अध्ययन करें, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सीट 15 से बढ़ के 48 और 46 तक दिखाया जा रहा है। इसका मतलब है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ग्राफ में तेजी के साथ वोटों के परसेंटेज में भी और जो मतदान हुआ उसका रुझान भी दिखाता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो ग्रोथ है वो बहुत तेजी के साथ छत्तीसगढ़ में हुआ है। और ये 48-46 तो दिखा रहा है, मगर मुझे लगता है कि जो जहां पे टाइट फाइट दिखाया गया है, जहां संघर्ष दिखाया गया है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी उन सब आंकड़ों को देखने के बाद, दक्षिण का हो, उत्तर का हो, मध्य क्षेत्र का हो, तीनों का विश्लेषण करने के बाद ये स्पष्ट हो चुका है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी अब 46 और 48 में रुकने वाली नहीं है। कम से कम भारतीय जनता पार्टी 52 से 55 सीट तक जीतकर 3
चलो जी, कौनी मिले वोट जी।
गाली भड़काने वाली स्पीच हो रही है।
केसीआर की आदत झूठे वायदे करके